Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my channel. This is part 1 of Azure DevOps. So in this part 1 of Azure DevOps, I will discuss basic life cycle of software development. So after this video, in my next upcoming videos, I will show you what is DevOps and what are the benefits of DevOps. So this DevOps playlist or DevOps related videos, whatever I will upload in my channel, this is all relevant to the real-time scenario, and it is very useful for the beginners, intermediate, and the experienced candidates. So all these things I will cover up in this sessions, in this series of videos of Azure DevOps. So before starting Azure DevOps, I will first know about what is DevOps, and before knowing what is DevOps, what was the process, what was the software development lifecycle was before the DevOps was introduced. Okay, so guys, before DevOps, I will discuss some what is the lifecycle of software development. And in this part 1 of Azure DevOps, the agenda is we will discuss these points as well. So in this session's agenda, we'll know about software development life cycle before DevOps, and there is few points I have covered up, that is what are the comparison between waterfall model and agile methodologies. So waterfall model is the very old model, and but agile methodology is the new pattern of the software development life cycle. So waterfall basically used for the small team, or the company has very less number of employees, and they use the waterfall model. And agile methodology is used for the companies like the big company, or there is lot of work, or there is a lot of processes and big projects. They are handled by different teams. So in that scenario, they use the agile methodologies. So agile methodologies are very useful, and it will divide your big work into small categories, so that it will be managed by different teams very easily. Later it will be merged in a single for successful deliver. Okay guys, so what is the basic life cycle of software development? So there is plan. So plan means before working on a project, you should have a plan, how to create a project, how to build it, after build it, how to test it, and how to deploy it, and after deploy, demo to the client it, and if any modification is required after, then what is the process. So it should be a plan to build a architecture of a project. All right, whatever the layers there, how to develop it like this. So and plans should be to the future, that is now we'll create what are the situation will be occurred, or what are the challenges will come to that project. Okay, and then it should be code, build, and test. So code is, this is the part of developer, to write the code and build the code. Right, so build code and give it to testing team or QA team, you can say it. So this is the test, it is for testing purpose or QA purpose. So there is one more thing, code and build both are as a part of developer, but developer should do unit testing. Okay, so unit testing, there is so many unit test framework like MS test framework and unity test. Okay, mock test framework as well, and there is also XUnit test. So you'll go to, if you'll create a .NET Core application, there you can see the various unit test frameworks. All right, after this unit test, that is a code, build, and unit test, it will go to testing team or QA team. So they will do the overall testing using their automation or manual testing. All right, so this is the second step. Then next one is deploy. Deploy nothing but whatever course you have developed and you have tested by testing team, this should be go to the deployment server. So guys, basically there are many servers: development server, QA server, and live server, or you can say it as production server. Okay, sometimes the development have one server. It will go to the staging. After staging there is QA. Q should be 3 to 4 servers like QA1, QA2, QA3, same as testing server. And after then it will go to the deployment. So there is production server or live server. So this means live means it will show to the client, show to your customer whatever you have delivered. Okay, and operate. So operate or operation. So after deploy there is some operations needs to be performed. Okay, and next one is operation team is nothing but the, you can say it as DevOps team, operation team. And the monitor. So monitor, someone from the team has to monitor what is happening in the server. In the server in the sense of in the deployment sense, that is in live server or production server. What they will check or what is happening in the server, they will check, does it require any scale up or scale down, or is there anything need to increase the server capacity to reduce the load. So there is some load balancer also they are using to server by server. So this is the all basic about the 3 steps: plan, code, build and test, deploy, operate and monitor. Okay, so the company like a very small capacity like 10 to 15 employees, they can handle all above things. Okay, but some companies like large enterprise or some kind of middle enterprise companies, so these steps will be done by different teams. Okay, somehow some companies which have very less capacity, that is 8 to 10 employees or 10 to 15 employees, somehow developer will plan these things, code, build, and itself they will test the things, and also they will deploy the things. But they will deploy means they can use as a Windows server to deploy it using some FileZilla, some kind of software, and okay, and they'll operate and they will monitor like this. So it is kind of small level companies. You can see it as some kind of less capacity of this employees, but big companies like large enterprise company like more employees there, middle level enterprise company, so they have different team. So for planning they have different team, for code, build and test they have different, deploy, operate, monitor they have different team. So they will not load all these things in one team. So these are all separated by different teams for their skill level. All right, so what is the step 1 is plan section. So for this plan there is one team called business team or product owner team, you can sort it as PO. Okay, so the PO will sit with client and he works on the planning part of the product. Okay, that means PO will get the requirements from the client and it will he or she will describe this requirement to the team, to the development team. Okay, and the development team there is team lead, software engineer, senior software engineer, scrum master, and there is QA people as well, some kind of a test lead, QA lead, project lead, senior project lead, architect. They all introduced in the development team. So code, build, test introduced to them. So first of all, plan is corresponds to business team or product owner team. Next is code or build or test. So here development team, this includes the developers and testers. Okay, before that architect people will do some create some architecture of this plan, and after then the developers will develop this application using code, unit test, and build that code whether it is success or not. After then the QA people will test whatever developed by the developers. Okay, so this is all about a mutual cooperation and the contribution towards the second step of code build and test. All right, after then it will go to deploy, operator, monitor. So for that there is a operation team like development team for second step. For step 3, that is deploy, operate, monitor, there is different team called operations team. So this team will deploy code in server, monitor it and operate it. For example, after deploying the code, you will raise PR, that is pull request. So if you don't know what is PR and how to push, pull, and create branch, you can check in my GitHub. Okay, in my GitHub tutorial, there I have introduced all these videos related to what is the PR, what is the server, how many servers, what the staging, everything I have covered up in my GitHub tutorial playlist. You can go and get the basic knowledge as well as in advanced knowledge as well. Okay, so as per our discussion, this section deploy, operate, monitor, it will go to operation team. They will deploy code in server, monitor it and operate it. So before going to in deployment, there is various production server, live server. In production, all divided into many types. One is production 1, production 2 and production 3. Production 3 is the last step to the client. So before going to production 3, it will check by production 1 and 2 whether it is going perfectly or not. After then it will go to production 3 and they can see the output in production 3. They means the client will see the output whatever the discussion was made earlier with product owner or business team in during the plan. Okay, so we can say these 3 teams are working on particular product development. That means business team or product owner team, development team and operation team. Okay, so here I will discuss that is what is waterfall model and agile methodology. So earlier in waterfall model, all teams are working independently, but in agile methodology, business team and development team are work together on success of a product. All right, so this is the difference between the waterfall model and agile methodologies. So all in agile, it can be saying as this is kind of combined effort towards a particular goal. That is the agile methodologies. Okay, so there is other team called operation team, right? So in agile methodology, as I discussed, business team and development team are work together on a success of a product, but there is other team called operation team, and still there is a gap between development team and operation team. All right, so what is the gap, how to fill up this gap, I will cover up in my next video, that is introduction to DevOps. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.